Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining me again, and I've hit 100, in fact I think it's over 100 subscribers now on YouTube, which is awesome. So thanks very much for subscribing and supporting the channel. I'm glad that people are finding the videos that I'm making valuable and entertaining. So a lot of people have said the last video I made that the markets are ranging video, which ranging markets do suck. A lot of people have told me that they really like that video, they like the trade analysis and kind of getting to see, a breakdown of the trades that I took and the trades that I would be taking. So this is just going to be a quick update video on the trades that I took yesterday, Friday the 19th, and a quick update on the verification account. So I'll just refresh this. We can see here that yesterday made just almost 3,000. It was up to about 1,500 profit yesterday, and it ended up closing out for about 600 profit. So I mean, this was down to 97.5, 98.5, and it's back up above 100,000. So that's the main thing. Back in making progress. So I took quite a few trades yesterday. Most of them were just essentially averaging into trades that were already running into profit. So when a trade was in profit, I'd move my stop loss to break even or into profit, and then I'd open another position of a smaller size just to capitalise on the move a bit more. So if I jump into the charts here, US 30 Dow Jones, yeah, I spoke about this yesterday, ranging, but then it started pushing down with quite a lot of momentum. So I came down here to the 15-minute chart just to look for an entry, because the thing is about the Dow Jones, for instance, it trades mostly the most volatility and the most volume that you'll find is during the New York session. I don't know what trading. Oh, there we go. So the New York session, and what you'll find is when it starts to push in one direction or the other, the likelihood is it will continue in that direction for the majority of that session. So it was pushing down, so I entered about here, rode this down to about here, it started rejecting up and then again falling back down. However, like I said, I had to close everything out because I had other things I needed to do yesterday, so I just wanted to close everything out before the market closed. So I closed it around about here for a fairly decent return, about 0.5% or something like that. Why is TradingView taking so long to load? It's not like in this, is it? There we go. So it was somewhere around here. I ended up here and closed it around about here, and we can see that it continued further to the downside, which is cool. So what I'll be looking for next week then is for this level to be respected and for price action to continue down to probably next level will be here. If not, back down to these lows. But we'll see. So that's that one. UK 100, I didn't take any trades on that yesterday. Pound New Zealand was a beautiful trade. We're in this sweet downtrend here. Obviously consolidated earlier this week, broke out of that, put in a retest and came down. So we had this huge drop here. I didn't get in up here, I came in a bit late to the party for this one. I was watching it when it was up around this area, but as I say, I came in a bit late, but still managed to capitalise on this huge push to the downside. Made quite a decent amount on this trade actually, and it came back up, and I think I closed it down here because my targets were around about here, so I closed it around about here. But it did come back up, it retested, so I'm definitely looking for a trade on this again come next week. So Pound AUD, same kind of story. This is a bigger trade that I held for a bit longer, came right down to my target, smashed through my target, reversed a bit and came back up. So if you can see just in here, the prediction was for me that it would come down past this level, come back up and retest, and that's exactly what's happening. So I'll look for another trade to the downside on this pair next week. Pound USD was another one that just fell very nicely. Let me just clean this chart up a little bit. This one fell very nicely too. had a couple of trades on this and closed, I think, around about here, just where the bottom of that, box is there, the green box. I mean, you can see that it pushed a little bit further down before the market's closed, but whatever, that's fine. Again, I'll be looking for further trades to continue the trend on this one. Another one that's respecting the EMA very well, and it'll likely continue to the downside. Pound JPY, another mover, moved very hard to the downside. Took a couple of trades on that to capitalise. We'll be looking for further trades to the downside come next week, respecting the EMA and overall putting in the right kind of structure, you know, higher high, lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower low, so looking beautiful. Euro USD, yeah, same kind of story. It's respecting the EMA now. It's putting in, you know, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It's looking very nice, and we'll definitely look to trade this more to the downside next week. New Zealand Japanese yen. Let's see if this wants to load. What's going on? There we go. So this is kind of, it isn't a downtrend, but for me it's a weak downtrend. It's kind of whipping above and below the EMA just now. More recently it was respecting the EMA, which is good. But zooming out a little bit, you can see we have this major lower low back here that's yet to violate. It kind of came back up and made some higher lows, higher highs before continuing back down. So I mean, this kind of area here is quite weak, so I'd be looking for this to break back below this low first before I got into any trades on this one. So that's what I'll be looking for next week. What the, whoa, what happened there? The arrow, or was it the line that moved? Creepy. Whoa, it's done it again, look. Whoa, what? Ah, okay. Okay, let's just get away from that pair. Poltergeist pair, New Zealand JPY. CAD Swiss, this is kind of going in a range. I was looking to get in a trade to the downside somewhere around there yesterday because it was setting up quite nicely, especially on the 4-hour chart. It was looking quite nice, so didn't quite happen. It kept going sideways, doing the usual annoying stuff, so I stayed out of this. It was actually a pending order I had somewhere down here, but it never triggered, so no problems. I put this box here just to remind myself that it is ranging at the moment, and we'll just put this in the red flag of caution. Same with this pair. I mean, it's not so much been putting in any higher highs. It's came up to this level and ranged, which is fine. So once it breaks below this, I'll look to trade it down to this low, and if it breaks that, we'll be looking to trade it much further. But for the time being, it's in a range, staying away. Euro AUD in a range as well, quite obvious. I'll be waiting for this to break either above it or below it to continue trading. AUD NZD also in a range, same story. Oil, the oil was awesome. Oil was absolutely awesome. I think on my previous video I was talking about a trade, something like this, back up to these highs. It put in some nice price action up at these highs, and I wanted to get back in oil for another trade just to the upside. However, my broker was doing something weird where it was telling me I could only close trades on oil, I couldn't open any new trades, which was pretty annoying. So I had to just kind of watch this moving up into would-be profits, but I couldn't actually trade it because my broker was being funny about it, so whatever. I don't know if that was the case for all brokers. I don't know if it was because there was new, you know, volatility being introduced or whatever, I don't know. But it was continuing up, looked very nice, good setup, but couldn't trade it, so whatever. The last one I'll look at here is the euro pound. This was in a huge range, as you can see here, whipping up and down above and below the EMA, just looking horrible. You know, I mean, you could, if you were a range trader, you could easily trade this from, you know, the top back to the bottom, back to the top, back to the bottom, back to the top. But for me, that's just a bit too, sketchy and a bit more stressful than just following the trend, because you never really quite know. I mean, you can see here, right, this, for instance, this is the top here. We can see that, let's say we got on a trade here and we thought this was the bottom of the range. So we trade it back up to this top, perfectly fine, good trade. We take this back down to the bottom, perfectly fine, good trade. We take this back to the top, nope, doesn't quite work, comes right back down the entry. Take it back up again, still not, back down, finally back up to your target, your take profit. So I mean, this, if you're kind of interested in trading like that, I mean, by all means you can do that, but sometimes, as you can see in this example, you might have to hold the trade for, you know, several days before it hits the target, which is the same kind of case with trend trading. Yes, I know. But the difference with trend trading really is that in a trend, the price is rarely going to come back down to your entry or even go below your entry. I mean, obviously it sometimes will do that, but for instance, if we look back a little bit here, let's just say we took a trade to the upside from here, okay? So let me just mark this up so it's clear. So let's just say we took this to the upside and we were targeting somewhere way up here. So you can see here that, you know, we enter, it comes up, it comes back down, it respects the EMA, it makes a new higher high, consolidates for a little bit, but it doesn't come much further back down. Okay, this wick came a little bit back down, but still, it consolidates before breaking higher and hitting your target. But let's just say, you know, you're trading from here, so you're trading back up to this point and your stop was like somewhere maybe below this consolidating area. So you can see, you know, it goes up, it comes back down, back to your entry, so you know you're seeing a lot of profit, then nothing, and then a lot of profit, and then, you know, it's moving to the side, and then finally hit your target. So it's a viable way of trading, but you never quite know when the range will be violated and broken. That's the other thing, you know, there is no hard and fast way of telling when this range will be over. Now, of course, you could take this initial targets there, stop below the recent structure, and when you see this kind of price action happen, you could easily just close it there, you know, if you wanted to do that. That would be a perfectly fine way to trade. Again, here you could target there, see that it's doing this kind of wicking nonsense, close. But if you were in a trend and you were taking a trend trade, you would expect it to be pulling back sometimes and making a little correction, or even you know, doing a bit of consolidation for the time being. So for instance, in this example here, we can see it pulled up and it consolidated. So had this been up here, you might want to close it because it's potentially coming back to the bottom of the range. In a trend, you know, it's respecting the EMA. The furthest you'd want it to come back would be back to here or the EMA. If it broke this or the EMA, likely it's going to continue back down, so you'd want to close it then. But because it's continuing up like this, consolidating, you know, you could be quite confident that this is an uptrend. This is probably going to continue in an uptrend for the you know, the short-term future. So you would likely hold it to this consolidation. Whereas if you were in this, as I say, you would probably want to come out because it's a range. But different rules for different market structures. So, but I don't trade ranges. I did take a couple of trades during the verification in a range, but for the absolute most part, I don't trade it because it's more stressful. I think it's much easier just to trade with the trend. Anyway, huge ramble there. This is breaking out above the range here, so I'm going to wait to see what this actually does next week. It might continue to the upside now that it's finally cracked this range and continue what it was doing here. I mean, you can see back here, it ranged for a little bit in this area before it broke above and then started ranging again. So that's obviously one thing you need to be wary of. But yeah, AUD JPY pretty much the same as what I've said before. It's coming into a downtrend. This lower low here, I'll be looking for this to be broken before taking any trades. The only other one I added to my chart was USD Mexican Peso. I didn't take this trade, I just marked it up to see what would happen. I don't really trade exotic pairs because there's, you know, a lot of slippage and stuff like that, and it's just really liquid sometimes, and then other times there's not much going on and it's really volatile. I mean, they do move pretty hard, you know, they do move pretty crazily. and you can see this is a 4,000 stop for a 10,000 pip target, which is crazy. So I'll mark this up. I didn't take this trade. I'm just wanting to see, you know, how this plays out to potentially look for trades in the future. But anyway, enough rambling on. Those are the trades that I took. Those are the other trades that I'm going to be looking at for next week, to see how they shape up and if I will be trading them or not. And yeah, so as I say, back above 100. It's basically like the past 7 days didn't actually happen. Like I'm starting again, but whatever. Going into next week, definitely be aiming for that 5,000 target. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.